The Shattered Grid storyline continues in issue 9 of Go-Go Power Rangers, and we discover the identity of the Ranger Slayer. But coming up to the identity of the Ranger Slayer, we all knew who it was, but we get a better glimpse of her personality and what she's like, and her motives right now. So the issue starts off in the future, the Lord Drakkon timeline, the World of the Coinless timeline as it's been named. And basically who we see is the minor of minors characters, well not really that minor, but we see characters like Bulk and Skull and their teacher being chased in this dystopian world, this apocalyptic world, being chased by the Black Sentry Rangers. And as they're pinned down by him and about to be shot down for resisting, a mysterious... well, we know who it is, I'm not going to ham it up. You see, basically, Ranger Slayer Kimberly saved them. Now, we kind of know it's her because we're going to figure out it's her later on. But basically, she's sort of got like the cool, weird-looking... no, I don't want to say it's weird, but it's a really cool design. She's got a cape wrapped around her. It's this really cool design. She's got this giant bow, and she basically takes them all out, and she doesn't really crack jokes here. And her design is also really good. She doesn't have the long hair, it's sort of like cut really short, sort of looking like an anime character almost, with that kind of style of her hair, with the cut short hair. And it does look really cool. I do like this new design that they've given her in the comics, this short hair Kimberly, and she's more serious and not cracking jokes, which you'll find out later on down the line. And then after that we cut to the present day, where we'll see modern day Kimberly, well not modern day Kimberly, day 27 after the arrival, so this is roughly almost a month after they've become Power Rangers, I believe. And what happens is basically you're seeing in between the divorce that Kimberly's parents had, which is played in the original show, I don't want to say the toll, but how it played into the storyline, but they make it more of a big deal in the comics, more of a serious topic about how Kimberly's caught in between the middle of her parents' divorce and how she thinks her parents are using her to sort of, if you've had parents that go through divorce and stuff like that, you feel like they're using you to get in between one another, and that's how she feels. That she sort of explains it down the line, so it's a very relatable subject if you've gone through with it. And then on the next page, it's quite short, it's only roughly a page of Billy and Trini talking, but Billy's working on his Zord. He's trying to hotwire it, understand it better so he can be a better fighter and a better student. But as we see on the first panel of Trini trying to find him, and she has that funny line saying, "If you jump out and scare me, I won't feel bad about breaking your glasses." But on that panel, we basically see under Billy's Zord, and what we see to the left is some armor. It looks like he's modded his own Blue Ranger gear, because you see his Triceratops costume, but it's got two different horns on it. Two different horns on a shield and some armor, so it has that Fallout vibe when I'm looking at it right now as I'm recording this, and it does look really cool. I just want to say that it does look really cool and I love it. I love it so much. Then after that we cut away to Rita on the moon, and basically she senses a familiar darkness somewhere arriving down on Earth, and she sends Goldar out to find it. Now, we probably know what that mysterious darkness is, the Ranger Slayer, but we'll get that to in a moment, don't worry about that. The next day at school, the Rangers are trying to contact Matt. They're sending him several texts saying they want to hang out with him, they're hoping that he's okay, and they're just trying to make sure that he's okay after what he just went through. They're friends with Matt, but they want to know if he's okay, like any friend would, which is really nice of him, and I do like that touch, because Matt did go through a lot, and he does get a mention in issue 25 of the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comics. He does get a mention by Kimberly by then, so I'm guessing that Matt is going to play some sort of role in this comic. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I'm guessing he's going to play some sort of role in this comic if he's still getting brought up. Now, I'm interested to see where this character will go and what he'll do, but he seems like a really cool character, and I'd love him to be an addition in this Go-Go Power Rangers side comic as it continues on. So I'd like to see more of this Matt character. But after that, the Rangers are unable to get a hold of him, and they get a call from Zordon saying Goldar's out attacking with a bunch of putties. So the Rangers morph and head to the scene, and as they fight off Goldar and basically go toe-to-toe with Goldar, their fight is interrupted by the one, the only, the Ranger Slayer. Now, this was previewed by Power Rangers Now really quickly, and I did cover it on my channel where I tried to guess stuff about this Kimberly, this Ranger Slayer Kimberly, and what she's doing in this timeline, so we kind of know from this panel what her objective is and what her set of mission is. So we'll find out eventually what she's up to, and we'll get to that right now. Now, so basically, as she takes out Goldar and easily wipes the floor of the putties, using her Sword of Darkness to slice through him, cutting him in half, which is a really cool panel. And I love the fact that when stuff like robots or putties, and it's not, if they don't bleed, stuff like that, you can do whatever they want with them, because even in the old Ninja Turtles cartoons, they fought off robots. The foot soldiers were robots, so that means they could cut them up in any way, slice them through, sort of decapitate them, and get away with it in a not so PG-13 way. They can stick with the Y7 rating because it's not people, they're just robots, so they can get away with it easily. But anyway, onto the Ranger Slayer. As she appears, Zack has this really funny comment saying, "Oh, she has a cape, it's really cool, why can't we have capes?" And people are already pointing out, like, in comments and tweets saying, "Oh, well, the Lupin Rangers have capes, or the Magi Rangers have capes." So it's kind of funny that Rangers in the future will get capes, and Zack was really wanting a cape in this issue from that line. Whether he was cracking a joke or not, it's funny that Rangers have capes in the future. But after she takes out Goldar and the putties, the Rangers ask if Zordon sent her, and she goes, "No." And after that, she lunges at the Rangers, goes for Billy, and Jason jumps in to defend him, and she has this line saying, "You're smaller than I remember," and then side kicks him down to the floor and says, "Slow it to," and says, "No teamwork, huh?" So that line is really interesting because, like I said, the Rangers have only been a team for a month roughly by now. I think it's roughly a month. And basically, she's making fun of the fact that he hasn't learned to be a better leader right now, which Jason becomes a better leader down the line in the later episodes or in the later issues. And it's something that Jason does stress about in the comics, how he doesn't think he's a very good leader because he's made a few mistakes here and there since Tommy arrived in the Black Dragon arc. But basically, she sort of mocks him for using no teamwork at all. After, the Ranger Slayer Kimberly goes after Zack, and Kimberly jumps in to defend him, but the Ranger Slayer Kimberly makes work of the present-day Kimberly, and she has this line as she removes her helmet saying, "Kimberly, out of respect for all we've been through, I'm offering you a deal. Return my master unharmed, and I will spare you. Or should I say, I will spare me." And then as she removes her helmet, the real Kimberly, or the modern day Kimberly, says, "Oh my god, who let you outside with that haircut?" Sort of mocking that she's got the shorter haircut look. And even the Ranger Slayer laughs and says, "I used to make jokes in the certain face of death. Usually the dumber the joke." And then the real Kimberly finishes off her sentence and says, "Better the destruction," as she throws a smoke bomb. And then the Ranger Slayer Kimberly has this line saying, "Fine, I'll kill you all and take Lord Drakkon back myself." And they go, "Who's Lord Drakkon?" And then Zack has that crack up line saying, "Sounds French." And Trini has this line saying, "Who are you supposed to be, punk rock Kimberly?" And then the Ranger Slayer Kimberly has this line saying, "Wait, there's only 5 of you. Where's..." And then she goes, "I'm in the wrong year." So she was, no doubt about it, travelling back in time to get Lord Drakkon back. That's why she was travelling back to this timeline. She was meant to go back to the era of the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Boom comic to get Lord Drakkon back after he was captured by the US government. So that's where I'm guessing she was going, but she sort of went back in time a little bit too far. And basically after that, she escapes and heads off, firing a bow and arrow at a freaking gas tank, blowing it up, and makes her escape. After that, the Rangers return to Zordon and they say, "How can there be another Ranger?" And Zordon goes, "There can be ones from different potential futures," and the guys are shocked about it. I mean, I would be too if I found out there was another future version of me out there somewhere, so I guess they're just as shocked as anyone else would be. So basically, Kimberly goes to the roof of the command center, and Trini meets her out there, having a girl-to-girl talk where Kimberly talks about her dad moving out and her parents separating, and then she goes on talking about the story when she was 7 years old. There was this major gymnastic competition, and her trainer didn't want her to enter, but her parents didn't want her to go. But she did it anyway, and she medaled 3rd place, and she said it was the single coolest moment ever. Then on the ride home, she said her parents got into a huge fight over the freeway. And then she has this moment that's kind of sad, saying how she cried herself to sleep that night, and one day she didn't want to end up like her parents, fighting and arguing and stuff like that. And she goes, "I'm never going to end up like that." And then Trini reassures her saying, "You're not going to end up like that, I know it." And then Kimberly has this line back to Trini saying, well, that's the problem. I just saw what I end up like in the future, and that's what worries me. Now, after that, Rita talks to her henchmen, scolding them for failing, but I want to talk about that later. I want to gloss over that because there's something sort of deep and important on the next page that I want to talk about. Now, the next day, Jason's at his home and he's trying to find food in the fridge, and he gets a call from a unknown person, which will be a doctor later on. She basically says, hello Dr. Scott, this is Tracy from Dr. Non's office, and basically she thinks because Jason answers the phone, it's his dad, and Jason learns a secret about his dad, that he's going through all these tests, and basically find out that something's wrong with Jason's dad. And Jason's dad has a really cool design by this artist. I mean, he kind of reminds me of Joel from The Last of Us for some reason. But basically, Jason's trying to get some answers, and his dad says it's nothing, I don't want to burden your mother, and I don't want to burden your family. And Jason's dad has this line when Jason goes, how come you didn't tell anyone? And Jason's dad has this line going, do I stick my nose in your business? Do I ask where you go for all your hours of the day and who you hang out with? And he goes, no, I respect your privacy. I expect a little bit of the same. So it's a really cool line that his dad says, hey, you've been going out a lot. Where have you been? I don't ask you stuff about like that. So, yeah, respect my privacy. And he has this line saying, we're not going to say a word to anyone, especially your mother. And he goes, do you understand me, Jason? Jason says, yes, sir. And then we get this thought bubble of where Jason's just sitting in his room distraught, and he has this line, probably from his dad still talking to him, saying, good, when you grow up you'll learn if you love someone you don't burden them with your problems. So I'm guessing this line is going to play a key factor into this arc with Jason, no doubt about it. And let's talk about the final few panels. Now the issue ends with Kimberly, the Ranger Slayer, outside of Angel Grove, and she's trying to contact Lord Drakkon, and she says the signal's too weak and she can't hear her. So she's annoyed that she's a few years too early, or I want to say a month too early, but who knows the time frame between Tommy joining and this comic actually happening. So I just want to say, we'll say she's a few years too early. And basically, Rita appears behind her saying, I thought you were trying to destroy the Power Rangers, and Kimberly has this line saying, oh, did you come to finish off what Goldar started? And Rita says, no, I was just testing you. And then she asks, why are you here? And then she has this cool reveal where the panel ends with saying, it takes a lot of power to travel through space and time, perhaps I can give it a jump start. And you see the Ranger Slayer Zord standing before her, and the Ranger Slayer Zord looks really nice because it's a mixture between the Tiger Zord, the Thunder Zord, and I think the Mega Zord, I believe. But it's a really cool Zord looking thing, and I love its design. I love its freaking design, how it's a mixture between the Season 1 and Season 2 Zord, so it's a really cool touch. So that's where we end the issue there. But overall, it was a pretty cool issue. I mean, it was set up for like next month, which is like most comics that you read them in big bulk once it's out in the collected volume form. But it was a good setup for what's going to happen in the near future or the next few issues, and that's really cool. But I'm hoping that we find more of the Ranger Slayer's past. We know that she's probably a I want to say lover of Lord Drakkon because it's Tommy, and that's why she's trying to rescue him. But I'm hoping we find more of her in this one, and how she's going to play into the Shattered Grid storyline with her Ranger Slayer. Is she going to go back in time and destroy the Rangers, or is she just going to wreak havoc in this timeline? We'll find out when we get to it eventually, but I'm curious to see where it goes. But apart from the Ranger Slayer stuff, the Slice of Life stuff is really heavy as well. I mean, Kimberly's parents getting caught between the divorce, and she's getting stuck in between it, which we sort of learn in the main series, where it's more implied here, and you see what actually goes through. Even though this isn't canon, it's its own universe, but you actually get to see what happens. Jason's dad having a sickness, and he doesn't want to tell his family because he doesn't want to burden them with whatever's wrong with them. Some really heavy stuff goes down. It's why I love this comic, because even though it's Power Rangers, this Go-Go Power Rangers one is very slice of life, and it did get a bit dramatic in this issue, but that's why I love reading this, because it doesn't treat the readers like kids. It tackles some serious heavy issues that probably the fans who grew up watching these watching Power Rangers or reading this comic now as an adult, most of the stuff is probably relatable to them. And that's why I kind of love this issue, because these issues, they're very heavy, they're very serious, but anyone who grew up being a fan of Power Rangers and they're reading this comic now, they can relate to this stuff what people have gone through. So that's why this comic is really fun to read, and I'm excited to see where it goes. The Ranger Slayer stuff, the Slice of Life stuff. We'll see where it goes next month in issue 10. So this issue took a while to record, but if you stuck around to the end, thanks for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, your support is greatly appreciated, and hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Anyways, thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, and peace out.